Okay, my camera's broken again. What's the problem? Hello. Welcome to Truth Runs Deep podcast. I'm Taryn. I
I'm
didn't mess it up
Callie.
this time.
I know I was about
And
to say, I'm glad you
I didn't mess it up this time, but my camera was frozen.
you remembered our
But
names this
we're
time.
here. Yeah, we're here to talk about
So,
all things Law and Order, SVU, organized crime, and more. So this week we decided
so
to do a split episode because there's so much to talk about regarding the OC episode that it needed its
my
standalone
parents, yeah, my
moment.
parents decided to joke
So we're
around. They're like,
recording
I
the
think
second.
yeah, this is like
We're
the
recording
first
this in
time
two
you've been,
parts, and this is
yeah, this is part two. My parents were like, this is the first time you've ever been more excited for organized crime than SBU. And I was like,
yeah.
yep, with
So good. We
reason.
even started writing a fic. Like as soon as the episode ended, we wrote a fic. We started
Yeah,
a fic.
like
Like
we FaceTime each other
we talked. Why
and
is my
talk
camera
about
so
it.
bad
Like,
right now?
we're gonna go right now because we have 2 weeks to deal with everything,
Yeah,
which we'll talk. You're frozen.
I know this is a problem. Zoom, you need to be better than this. Zoom, do
So,
better. Come on.
yeah, we're
I
back
re-
on Zoom again because the other
yeah, our
program we
recording
wanted to
would have
use didn't
literally
want
done.
to put us on Spotify, so we're here again.
Yeah, when it's literally everywhere else except for Spotify. So the episode, if you guys have not, if you want to go listen to last week's episode, you can listen to it on Apple, on Google, on Anchor, literally everywhere else
We
except for
probably
Spotify.
should because it gives you all the intro information to this episode.
Yeah,
So
go
last
listen to
week's
it. It'll
episode,
help you if you should be in
Partners
part.
in
We
Crime,
talked
is
about it. Yeah,
basically
I
the
almost watched it again,
prelude
but
to.
then I didn't. Yeah, I almost watched it again too, but I didn't have time. Anyway,
Okay.
uh, but to work. So there's so
Yeah.
much to say about
So
this episode
basically,
that like, hold on, I
I
gotta get my
literally
phone. I'll
the
pull it up
first
on my
so
iPad because I
we
want to look at my phone.
organize our docs. We go first Law and Order, then SVU,
Yeah,
then Organized Crime. Each show has bullet points under it of what
yeah,
we're
we
gonna
fill
talk
it
about.
in.
First bullet point I wrote under Organized Crime was Ainsley and Danielle Knight in all caps with
Yes, y'all.
giant
And
exclamation.
so this episode is just, why is
By the
my
way,
camera broken? Zoom, you need to be better.
yeah, we
Zoom,
finally
this is,
got this episode,
hold on.
and I'm
Gotta get my notes
so
out.
excited.
My camera's frozen. Sorry. Oh, you can hear me, so it
They
doesn't really
gave
matter.
us the promo photos like
They gave us the
Monday,
promo photos like early in the week.
and we're like,
We
oh
were
my
like
god,
mouth agape
now
for like a day.
we're
We were mouth
yeah,
agape for like
yeah,
forever.
yeah. Here. Can you
We
wait?
showed them. It was, I guess if you didn't see, actually nobody saw it. Never mind, nobody saw anything because you can see it. So
So you're going to see it this time. I have so many
yeah,
tabs open about this
I was like,
episode.
no one saw anything.
Here, I'll do this one.
So we were mouth agape, being like, uh,
Here, I'll do
we
this.
were so. Yeah, Cal's camera
I
works,
say
mine
I
doesn't. I don't
really,
really know why mine doesn't work. This is literally, I don't know what the
I've
problem
been
is because
trying.
it did this at school and I'm at my house. So
I've been trying to be good about like what pictures I save to my camera roll and which ones I
I don't
don't.
care. I got a soda
This one was a
that's almost
reasonable one
empty. I
to
got
put on the
apple
camera
juice.
roll.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
I got a soda and I got apple juice.
you
We'll be
can't
sugared up. Well,
if you can't see it,
yeah,
um, it's Jet and
that
Iana
picture.
in all their glory. So Jet is in this gorgeous green dress.
Hmm.
And not Danielle, Ayana. Ayana has her new hairstyle. Taryn, how do you describe that?
It's kind of like a twist out almost.
It's
I
like a
think it,
shorter one because the hair's
well, not
like
necessarily shorter. It's just because I
no,
get
because the hair is
shrinkage.
like no, not necessarily like the twist or shorter. It's just it's up to her
Yeah, it's like
shoulders
shrinkage
now.
when you like. My camera's broken. I don't know.
Because before she had braids, right? And those braids were long.
Yeah, yeah.
Now it's up to her shoulder. And you said it was what?
Hmm.
Twist?
What did I
Is
say?
that?
Yeah, like a twist out. Because you untwist it is what you have to do, and then it makes that, or you do finger coils. There's not
Danielle
so many things. She
Instagram,
talked
like
about it. Danielle made a post where
how she
talked
loved
about
that
natural
she gets
hair.
to have like show her natural
Yeah,
hairstyles for Belle, which is
yeah.
awesome. And
Hmm.
um it's definitely like not I don't want to necessarily call it like a learning experience per se, although I am learning about like the different kind of hairstyles that
Hmm.
she can do. Um it's more so of like a portrayal of just the different kinds of styles of black hair and the
Yeah.
beauty that's in
I'm
all
no,
of
we're just turning my camera back off because I'm kind of irritated it doesn't work.
If I say anything wrong, please tell me. I'm going as we
No,
go.
no, you're no, you're doing good. I
Okay.
would, yeah. It's
Yeah.
we talk about how like in like Danielle talked about a post she made about how like still even like today the like film industry isn't doesn't most of the time they don't have people who properly can do black hair.
Yeah.
So or have people who aren't good at doing black hair. So for her to have the opportunity to have her hair in a way that she wanted and it looks fantastic is a
Um,
big
so
deal.
a lot of comments on her Instagram of like
What are they
people
doing?
like this is the first time I've seen like these hairstyles on TV,
Hmm.
which
Yeah.
is awesome. Okay, so
Hmm.
those are that's what like the two like big outfits they had of the night. Although Ainsley had like
Wow,
so
it's so
many
good.
outfits in this
I
episode.
only brought one charger and I
Okay,
only brought one
um,
charger instead of both of them, so it's okay. We're gonna do this.
so the
Anyway,
first thing we see in the episode is
oh, I didn't even
basically a
pull my
recap
notes up. I got distracted. It's a recap of last
of
week in Partners in
last
Crime.
week in Partners
Yeah,
in Crime, and then
so
we
good.
jump right into Jet undercover
And Shame. Yeah, Seamus, because
with
remember,
Shame.
if he's doubting us, Seamus was like, I'll take you on a date. And she was like, he's like, anywhere. And they went brunch.
Okay.
And that's
Um.
where the like scene before that is.
Yeah. So it's literally like there's um a drink on the table. Seamus like
Hmm.
pulls the chair
We
out
literally
for her.
watched this
She's
episode. All of us watched, both of us watched this episode like an hour or two ago. So we like know for certain.
I this is the first time in a very long time where I got home from work at like 3:45, 4 o'clock my time. Went inside, put all my stuff down, sat on my couch, and watched the episode again because I was home alone.
Yeah, I watched it again too because it was just so
Because I wanted to
so
make sure I
good.
got all the details.
We did
Um,
because we were writing it, so we needed to have as much as we could write. And it's stuff we had to write.
yeah. So, yeah. So we
I
get
want to get back
Jet
to
in
writing so bad, but we gotta record.
the
What
gorgeous
we're
green
writing
dress.
is just so damn good. Sorry,
So
I get
good.
excited about everything
We'll,
right now.
we'll
I
get
also
to
had
it. We'll
a
get to
soda.
it. We have to get
I had a soda
through.
and I have an apple juice. Like we're gonna have some sugar tonight. I don't care.
We're gonna have fun. We're gonna have fun with this. Okay.
Yo,
So Jet's
I
in this
just got so
pretty
much
green dress.
hair.
She's undercover. She's on the
Yes,
date with
my
Seamus.
camera's broken. I'm mad
Um,
about it because you
well,
just, you know, hold on.
well, Juliet is on a date with Seamus because that's her
What is his
undercover
name?
name. I love the
Yeah.
name, and I don't know, like, I don't know. I love the name. Um,
I have to have my laptop open to
uh,
record the Zoom, but I'm gonna join the Zoom on my iPad and mute my computer because I wanted people to see me because you have such good reactions. But anyway, continuing.
we
Now that
really
you're gonna see me
do.
from
Um, I knew I like was so
him,
excited about this episode that I
you were.
wanted to capture my live
Yes.
reactions. So I recorded voice memos as I was watching.
Join the
Um,
meeting.
just for myself. What is going on?
I
Oh,
don't know everything is broken.
no, just more Ainsley tweets popping up. Um, oh yeah. Literally like an hour before the show, Ainsley and Danielle are posting all these tweets.
Everybody was tweeting.
No, Ainsley, Danielle, and Rick, who plays Reyes, were all putting all these tweets up, causing us to freak out more. So this is the first one that so no, I can't do that one yet until I get to the scene. Um, where's this one? Yeah, Ainsley just decided to cause us all to freak out. Um, the caption says sneak peeks and it's got like a dizzy emoji, sparkles, and then the shamrock because this is the
It makes sense.
is
Sorry.
this is like an Irish mob group. And then
Like,
she puts up four
dumb.
pictures. So the first one is Jet in a sparkly black dress. If you follow Ainsley on TikTok, this is the dress that she was wearing in the most recent video that they posted. Then we get like a side blurry one with her in like a green fur coat. And we got another one with her in like a red fur coat and just gorgeous. And then
What do you mean it's not the past? Sorry.
the last one
Hold on.
is Jet with her regular hair and I know you probably can't tell, so I'll just say it's
Oh, I know what the scene is.
mascara
It
running
makes sense.
under
It
her
makes
eyes.
sense. Sorry,
And I was
y'all.
like,
When y'all watch it,
so they posted
yeah,
this like before the episode, and I was like, oh my god,
we're like, huh?
what is
We're like,
going
what
to
happened?
happen? What did
What?
he do to her? And then
I want to join
the second
this
tweet I'll say
meeting.
after, and then this was just a bunch of cute cast pics of Rick that Rick posted. All the squad
It's
bundled up
cold.
in
Everyone wants
hats
cold,
and
baby.
jackets and beanies. This
Cold.
one's my favorite. It's Brent
Yes,
and
there you go.
Rick giving Ainsley a giant hug because she's the short girl, and they're just all cuddled up together. And then we got one with Danielle too. Anyway, so they're all. I don't know. We don't know if it's from this episode or like the ones that they're filming. Either way, they're all freezing, but yet they still look smoking hot. Um, actually, that I think that's what he said in the caption.
Turn this off.
Oh no, it says
Okay.
cold smoke. We're
No.
just warming up. Hashtag Law and Order OC. Okay. I'll get to the other tweet after we get to the scene. Okay, so where were we? Yes. So Jet or Juliet is on a date with Seamus. Um, this is I wrote that I love that Jet is more than just a tech girl because this is like she's like big operations she's done. Um,
Okay.
she's done like smaller operations to like figure out things. This is the first long one she's done. Um, which is awesome because
Mm-hmm.
not only do we still have like the tech part of her, but we also get the other sides of her as a detective. And I've been saying since we got the smallest bit of her undercover on SVU that she was going to be amazing at undercover and that they should use her more often. And now we're finally getting it. 3 seasons in, but we're finally okay. So
Okay,
the date.
now my camera doesn't look horrendous because my iPad camera looks way better than the
You
MacBook.
look so pretty.
Because I use the camera on my Mac, I mean my iPad, so it looks better quality. Because MacBook camera looked horrendous.
You look pretty. Okay.
Thank you.
Where were
So,
we? Oh yeah, the actual like date now. So
because because you can't record. There's no record option on an iPad because I gotta put a story on the computer, so I have to have the computer open, and then the Zoom camera over here. It's fine. Also, this is almost dead. Both of my iPad and my computer are almost dead, so we're gonna speed through this, but not really speed through it because we have a lot to talk about. We have to come back to this later. We'll get as much as we can until my devices die, then we'll come back to the
yeah,
story.
okay.
And maybe tomorrow, but we'll find out. Continuing.
Okay. So the first line of dialogue we get is from Seamus, and he's looking right at Jet and says, "I thought about you last night." And she replies, "Oh, you did you?" First off, we're gonna just start with the fact that the contrast between Jet and Juliet is my favorite thing. Jet is absolutely like monotone. Um, Not necessarily like rough, but mainly like monotone. It's just Jet's unique tone.
Yeah.
Juliet is more soft, shy, flirty, happy. The fact that Ainsley can do both is awesome. Throughout this entire episode is basically Ainsley playing like two different characters in one episode
Yes, and
because they had
so
Ainsley playing Jet and then Ainsley playing Jet playing Juliet.
mhm.
Okay. Um, I thought about you last night. Oh, you did you? And he says I was thinking about I wonder what she's hiding, and then you
We're
can
like,
see Jet's eyes, like the way everything is literally written just in Ainsley's
yeah,
face.
we have so much we have like we write a wait, cameras over here now. We have like this is like the longest amount we have for a
We wrote
singular
so much.
episode.
I wanted to write down as much as we could so we were not
Everything. We have
scrambling.
everything written down. Okay,
Um,
anyway, sorry. I got like ADHD. Okay,
to see like the
okay.
change in her eyes, her
And then
like
she was like, you mean what?
change of like curl up a little bit, like
Mm.
oh crap, does he already know? And she replies, "What am I hiding?" Um, and then we get a switch to um Jet talking to
Another trigger.
Ayana and Elliot
Mm-hmm.
in Ayana's office before the operation was happening. And Ayana's like, a date with Omera, which is Seamus's last name, is a big step up for you.
Mm-hmm.
And Jet's like, I've gone undercover before. I know how to get information and like from a mark or like um and Ayana is like, you gained information to make a deal. This is the first time you've had to form an emotional connection. Um and this is part of
I
the
forgot I had another charger. This is gonna have to sit back here for now.
scene from the promo, and Ayana starts to say, um, if you want him to believe it, you have to believe it, and that means keeping your emotions in check. So basically, if you want him to believe you actually want to form an emotional bond, you have to believe it as your undercover persona, but you
Mm-hmm.
also need to keep your emotions in check because,
Okay,
yeah.
yo, bad.
And Jet is like, okay. We switch back um to
For
the
the
date,
date.
and
Yeah.
Seamus says, I wanna give me your hands. And Jets hesitates a bit, but gives him her hands, and he takes her hands and like turns them over to look at them, and he says, "You're an artist," which is the first time anybody
It's been brought up again in
has
2 years.
mentioned it since the pilot.
I know. I said we were like, oh,
And I was like, "Oh my god, they didn't forget about it! Finally!"
not forgotten.
I was like, "Oh my god, yes, finally, they didn't forget about it! Yay!" Um,
Not
I love that
forgotten
they
blood
brought that
point.
back up. Um,
We have an idea for a fic about that, but we'll do that. Ooh,
yeah,
I think I
we'll
got an
get we'll
idea
get
for
to
later.
it.
Sorry.
We'll get to it.
Sorry, I gotta tell you an idea for later,
Send it
but
to
not
me. Just
now.
text it. Go.
Okay.
Text it.
It's for later.
But tell me now. I wanna
I'll tell
know.
you now because it's gonna spoil the fix. I'm texting it to you.
That's what I meant. Text it to
That's
me.
what I'm doing. My phone is in my hands. Message I'm drying.
Okay. Yeah. So
Continuing.
Seamus says you're an artist, and Jet, you could see Jet's like her lips curl up into like a little smile, like she's really surprised that he figured this out. And she said, and he's like, "What? Are you a painter?" Which we know she is because in the pilot there was a few of her paintings in her like
Yeah.
basement room of her
Wherever we don't know her
apartment,
layout of her
warehouse,
places.
whatever it is.
We don't want to explain it.
Um, and she replies, mostly digital art, which I love because it's like a nod to what Jet does, but also um like the art thing itself, which I love. Um, there is a bit more dialogue that I don't remember. I think it's
Uh,
basically them saying like they wanted to be honest with each other.
yeah, he's kind of like,
I want to know who you are,
what do you do? That kind of
who
stuff.
you
He's kind of
are,
like,
that type
he
of
was
stuff.
like, he's not really generic. He was like, I do work. And she was like, well, what does that mean? He was all
I
like,
want to know who you are. Like she's trying to get information from him. And then he stands up
he's
and
like, close your eyes, I have a
says,
surprise for you, is what he says. And I was like,
and we're like, oh, okay.
oh,
He goes behind Jet and he puts this necklace around her neck. Um, it's a simple necklace, but it's really pretty. So it's a
okay.
silver chain with like the silver circle
A little diamond circle, like,
diamond. Um, and when she opens it, she like puts her hand on the necklace and is like starts to fiddle with it. She seems surprised that A she has a necklace, but also she's trying to figure out like how she feels about getting it. So the other tweet that I mentioned earlier is um this is like so key for me because Ainsley and I are the same age. So
mm,
we grew up with like similar like I guess pop culture things. Um so Ainsley posted tonight at 10 and then it's a picture of from the episode in the promo where
oh
after
yes,
Seamus has given Jet the necklace.
mhm,
Um and she puts it as a parallel to High School Musical.
mm. uh, I
You
know
go,
about High School
Ainsley.
Musical. Really?
You go.
I mean, I
Um,
know about High School Musical too. I mean, we're not that. You're only like 4.5 years old, but
True. I
I
forget
know about.
if you know what it is.
We have similar things, but most of the things you know about, I probably know about because like my cousin, who's like my best friend, is your age,
Yeah.
therefore I
So
know about
this
most of
the High School Musical parallel is the scene where Troy gives Gabriella her necklace and she's looking at it and it says T as in Troy. Um, I just I was like, oh my god, they did not just do that.
it. So,
Um,
uh,
and all right, where we go? Okay, yep. This is who I am. And then we go back to the office in this bureau,
mhm,
and it, Jet looks at Elliot and says, "What if things get out of hand?" Um, because they're talking about how not only are there the Murphy gang, there's this new gang
yeah,
that we have to worry about.
yeah,
The Morellos, and they're both rivals. So the Morellos and the Murphys are rivals. It's basically
yeah.
like two. I don't know. They're both Irish.
Oh,
Either way,
this pillow.
two rival mob games. Now we have to worry about. And Elliot says it's what we're counting on. That was like, of course it's what you're
Mhm.
counting on. When don't you want chaos? Anyway,
Literally, that's what it meant. The rise upon.
we
We're like,
transition
sir.
back to the bar. Um, and these two random guys walk
Yeah,
in,
yeah,
go over to the bar, order drinks from Jamie, who's there undercover as the
and the bar.
bartender again. Uh, and um, Seamus goes to
Yeah,
like walk over to them, and
yeah. He says something. I forgot what he
I
said. He
forget
said
what it
something that
is.
was like,
I think it said where. I think it's like where are you going, and it's like I have to go take care of this or something. I don't know. Anyway, he has to step
yeah,
away from the date and go talk
yeah,
to the guys. The two guys from the Morello gang basically start calling him a donkey and all these
yeah,
weird comments. Um, and then Elliot and Reyes walk over trying to figure out what's going on.
yeah.
Elliot literally walks like struts over. It's like, "Hey, is everything all right?" I'm like, "Where did you come from?"
He's surprisingly calm.
Yeah, really. Um,
We're like, Elliot was different in this episode.
we'll get to that later,
We'll talk about
which
that
I
later.
actually really love it, but we'll get to it. Um, so there's some more
He
they
says some stuff, then they get into the fight.
the Morello guys are like, "Oh yeah, this is our bar. You need to
Hmm.
get this guy out, etc." One of them who punched did Seamus punch them or did they punch Seamus?
It isn't really. I think he punched. I can't remember.
So
Anyway, it's a fight. It doesn't. They
anyway,
get into
fight
a fight.
starts.
They fight.
Bar fight starts. Reyes gets in the middle, accidentally gets in the middle of it. One of the Morella
He
guys
gets
like pushes him
like Elliot
into
because
the bar.
Elliot walks over.
Elliot walks over and takes the guy by the throat and drags him over. And you pointed out that Jamie
Yes,
jumps over the
Jamie
bar.
jumps. Jamie jumps over the bar. I go, "What's?" I watched him. He jumps
So
over
now we
the
got all
bar.
three of the
And
organized crime guys
the guys getting in the bar
on
fight.
on the Murphy side of the fight as part of their undercover personas.
Yeah, that's the reason why they
Why
have
did
the bar
these
fight.
like three Morello guys, and then Jet is just over there waiting at this table,
She's
watching it all happen.
she's putting on the sweet persona of like they're
Yeah,
gonna
she
fight.
puts on the sweet persona afterwards and walks over to Seamus and says, "Where did I put it? Oh my god, I wrote it down. Are you
You
okay? Come sit
Yeah, she does it
down."
in the
The
sweet voice.
sweetest tone ever. And I'm like, oh my god, I freaking love this.
It's so good.
Um,
It was good from the jump. Like, girl, we can't sing the praises about this episode. We're only like
yeah,
8 minutes in.
yeah,
If
literally,
this
this
is
is
even
just
eight
the
minutes in.
beginning. Um, and Seamus is like, I'm fine. Um, I had promised I'll make this up to you, but I have to go take care of this. I have to
Mhm.
do work. And he leaves. That's the end. We get a camera shot of Jet fiddling the necklace, and Ayana,
Mhm.
who was in the back room where all the cameras are, is watching. She zooms in on Jet, and we could
Mhm.
see her sigh. She's already starting to notice something
Who knows?
is happening.
Yeah.
And then that's we
That's
check
when the intro comes.
intro.
The intro hits.
So
And
I have to point this out because I
the
wrote this
song does hit hard though.
on
I do
the
love the organized crime theme.
doc.
Yes.
We don't know if actors' ages always match the characters' ages, but I was curious how old the actor is who plays Seamus is compared to Ainsley, because Ainsley is my age. We're both 24. Um, I didn't know like what the age was. So Seamus is played by Michael Malarkey, who I'm already loving. Like he's really good.
He is good. Yeah.
Um, he's 39,
Mm-hmm.
which means if we're going by actors' ages, there's a 15-year age gap between Seamus and Jet.
Mm-hmm.
Do I know if that's going to mean anything? No.
But we do. What we can
Is it
roughly
something we
assume is
should
that.
point out?
But we
Maybe.
can roughly assume that Seamus is definitely
But
somewhat
we
older
also
than Judge.
assume that Jet's
We
younger,
do
but
can
also
say he is indeed older than Judge.
yeah.
How much older?
So
It doesn't really matter, but
like
he definitely is older.
yeah. If it's the 15-year age gap, I don't know what that means. But I don't know if the age will actually be a factor, but I feel like it's just something to think about that we definitely know that Seamus is older than Jet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yo. Also, this is my like
After the
ADHD brain.
intro,
This is my brain that you probably don't know. But
this is literally the
the
scene
fic
that
we're
I
the
forgot
fic we're writing is
happened.
so
Go.
good that like we have 10 minutes, but that's okay. We're back on Zooms. We have the
Okay.
Zoom. Go boom.
After we pause, I have to get something because I think I have the necklace that Jet had on last night. I have to look for it because we do.
We have
I
10 minutes, so we're gonna keep talking until we get to our it goes boom.
but I'll wait till we go boom before I get it.
Yeah, you have to
Okay.
worry about that. Listen, if like
After
people seriously, y'all suggestions of better ideas on how to do this podcast, like good solutions to making a great show, that'd be fantastic. But but this works for now, until we can
okay.
afford to, be better. But it's okay.
Oh yeah, so after
Continuing.
the like title sequence, I
Sorry, that
forgot
song
about
hits
this
really
scene
hard. I get
until I
excited
watched
about it
the
every week.
episode again because I wasn't really paying attention. Um,
I don't know what kind of.
it was Rika Harold, the new DA, um, talking with Elliot about
Also, she drives a motorcycle.
her too.
because she had a helmet in her hand when she was leaving. That's why I was like,
Oh, I
I
wasn't
think she
paying
drives
attention.
a motor. I believe she drives a motorcycle because she had the helmet in her hand when she was leaving. I was like, she
I
must
wasn't
drive a
paying
motorcycle.
I was just like,
Anyway,
oh, okay, cool. So
yeah,
basically,
this scene was kind of. This scene didn't really use. Oh, there is something he says like they're talking about. She and Elliot are at Elliot's place, and they're
yeah,
talking about how
Riley says, and they're talking about how they need to get Murphy to make a deal, like a drug deal or
yeah,
something, or
Elliot's like,
deal.
I'll have him at my door, and she
Yeah,
was like,
and she's like,
okay.
you need to do this. Um, and he's like, is it bad if I gloat? And I already said that I have. And he's like, I'll have him knocking at my door this soon. And
I was like,
yeah. So basically, they're talking about like the Murphys and Morellos and how
it ain't
to
good.
get Murphy to do this deal so they can take him down, etc. Then we
Oh, I pushed the wrong
transition
button. Sorry.
to
Yes.
Eamon is literally knocking on the door with a
And
hand.
the yeah, I was like
A
the what?
hand.
And
And
I
it's
was
not fake.
somebody's missing their
It's
hand.
somebody's hand.
Somebody's missing their hand. Whoever this
Um,
person is real dead.
I'm literally like, oh my god. As if the guy wasn't already creepy. He's knocking on a door with a hand.
Someone else's
Walks
hand.
in
Whoever
the bar, to have this conversation with Elliot. Do you remember the contents of
they
it?
were talking
I
about
don't.
making sure that everything's gonna be secure. It's gonna be
Oh
a
yeah, for
great
like
night.
the
That kind
bar
of
itself
ordeal.
and the deal. Um, and then
Making
you
sure it was all gonna be all good.
pointed this out, and I agree after watching it again. For once, Elliot Stabler looked nervous.
He looked kind of scared. I was like,
Like
he was nervous. He was kind
he
of like
doesn't get
he's
scared
getting nervous, but
by
he was.
anybody.
No, he
This
was. He
guy,
was kind of like the way he kind of tries to like, or the way he like, he's kind of shaking almost a little bit. He's kind of nervous. You can see he's nervous, and he's
he's
trying to like
careful to keep
balance his words very carefully
watch his words, keep his distance from this guy.
because the dog, whose name is Jack, is
Oh
a
yeah,
little
and also
big.
he sees the dog and is like,
The dog will eat him.
"Oh, there's a dog here." Um,
I think he says something like the guy says something like, "I'll feed him your balls" or
yep,
something. And I
I
was like,
literally, yep, there I wrote that because I wrote this conversation down, this line down
yeah.
because that was funny.
And he says, "For
Or
once you've
that,
got some balls on you, maybe I'll feed him."
so you know the hand that we mentioned earlier,
The dog sits and
he
eats him.
feeds it to his dog. He
Yeah.
literally puts it on a plate
Somewhat, yeah. And then the
puts
part
it
where he's
in
like,
front of his dog.
Elliot, like, he's like, wait. And he takes the ring off of the hand, the hand. And then, like, okay, now.
I
And I
just
was
saved
like,
you a trip to the vet.
I know. I was like,
And I was like, oh my god, this dog is eating a human hand.
the dog's gonna eat you.
What
This
the
is a big
hell?
dog, yo. Like,
It's a
he's
big
like,
dog. So at the one point in the conversation, Elliot's like, doing his usual
he
confident
got a little
motto
confident.
as usual. And Murphy says, "You've got some balls on you. Maybe I feed them to Jack."
And I was like, oh.
Ah,
I was like,
oh
well, if
my
you mess this up,
god.
you're dead. I was like, if you mess this up, you're dead. There was no
Yeah,
redeeming.
you mess this
Elliot
up, you're
Stabler was
dead and you're losing your balls,
there will be no
and the dog will eat
if you
them.
live. If you live, you will have no. I was like,
My
oh,
god. Like this guy's insane.
this is he's pretty. He's an interesting villain in this arc, but like, ooh,
Yeah. So
the
then
mob is not playing.
I believe the next scene is we get um Seamus
This
taking
is also the quickest we've recorded back from like the episode from
we
watching the
were too
episode.
excited to wait.
We couldn't wait anymore. Like we're skipping. We're coming back to doing SVU and Mothership because we wanted to do this
We need
so
to do
right
it
now.
that time first. We couldn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
We feel like it. We might upload. I might make this upload this part early just because I feel like it. If it
Yeah.
gets done, we
Okay.
might be like, this is the path. I don't know. We'll find out.
So, um,
Yes. Continuing.
yes. So this next scene, if I'm correct, yes, is Seamus taking Juliet on
It's
the.
the phone. It's the phone call. Isn't it the phone call?
Oh yeah, the phone call.
It's
Right.
phone call. This is the phone call.
So they're back at the precinct, not the precinct, the bureau, talking
That's
about
nice.
just how there's like these records that they need to like put in like this like college style documentation,
Mhm.
Columbia style. I think it's what it was. I don't fully remember. And they're looking at Yana is looking at Jen. It's like, can you do that? She's like, yeah, of course. So they need Jet to do this documentation. Then her phone. Then they're talking about
Shameless
Seamus.
plug.
Has she heard anything from him? She says no, but I think I need to call him. So they have Jet sitting in the interrogation room. Ayana and Elliot are watching her as she's having this phone call with Seamus. It basically starts with, "Hi, baby, I missed you."
Yeah.
Like, my
And
God,
then
the way you can literally just go to that
she
tone,
can put it on real quick for
instant,
him, and
ma'am.
I said, Queen.
Um, where have you been? I miss you. I want to see you again.
Yeah,
When
she
can
says
I
she's like,
see you
Have you
again?"
been too?" She's kind of like, "Have you been too busy for me?" Or like, "We haven't." She
I
kind of
think
like
that's what I
a little
love
bit.
about Jet's undercover personas. They still have some of her sass,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like instead of like monotone, dry humor
She
sass,
puts on the sweetie voice.
sassy, flirty sass,
Mm-hmm.
sweet, flirty sass. Um,
Mm-hmm.
oh yeah. So they're getting in the conversation. Jet is realizing she's hitting a roadblock and is not getting any answers from him. She
Mm-hmm.
stands up, is still on the phone, and says, um, if you want me to see who you really are, um,
I
refer
forgot to get the line, but just something like that.
something along the lines of you don't need to hide from me. And then,
Yeah. He's like, "I'll pick you up at 8."
yeah,
And I was like,
so we had the
she's like, "Thumbs
redo
up."
date.
No.
Uh, then we transition to the redo date, and it's literally them in his car on this hill. Jet is wearing the
Mm,
silver sparkly dress from the TikTok that Ainsley did, and has like a new wig, with the bangs and the straight hair and everything.
yeah.
Um, and they're talking about um Santa Fe of all places and how Seamus wants to go there. Um, how he would take Juliet with him. Um, and how they would like he would basically get her own art gallery.
Yeah. She could
I
have
was like,
whatever she wanted, pretty much. I was like,
okay.
dang. But okay.
Yeah, he's
I'm
literally
like,
like, I will
I'm like,
basically
dang, you're really
get
on. Like,
you up.
homies, like, this man is in love.
Yeah, he's like,
That matters later.
I'll
I
get
wasn't
you.
100% serious. That it's not a joke. That man is in love with her. But
Oh
we'll
yeah,
talk about that later.
this guy is falling hard. He's like, I'm going to get you the studio, um, for you to do all your painting. I was like, whoop.
At
Okay.
the car.
And so, Ayana and Elliot are
In the car, I think.
in the car listening to all this happening. All right,
Okay.
sorry, y'all, we got cut off.
Yeah,
Um,
because we weren't paying attention because we were so deep in the vlog that we did not
the last
put this
thing I
down.
was saying is that Ayana and Elliot were there watching the date happen, and Yana wanted to turn Jet's mic up so that she could hear what she was saying and what was happening. Um, so while Seamus and Jet are on their date, or Seamus and Juliet are on their date, um, Eamon just randomly shows up.
And I was like, oh,
I was like, oh crap. Um, and we see like this black helicopter up in the sky. And it's like,
mm,
what is happening? Um, they get out of the car, and Jet basically does the whole "it's nice to see you again" type thing. They're
mhm.
talking. Um, forget exactly what the entire detail of the conversation is, but like as the helicopter lands, Eamon puts his hand on Seamus's shoulder and basically like whispers to him, "Next time, leave the girlfriend at home."
And now we're like, oh,
Yeah, I was like, "Oh, what's about to happen?" Also, why why do you think this has already gotten to girlfriend status? But okay. Um, yeah. He's like, next time, leave the girlfriend at home. Um,
also I thought about something, but I'll text it to you.
text it to me. Go. Text it. Um, and then Jet sees that Eamon has this ring on his hand.
Mhm.
And she says, "Oh, nice ring. Is that a police academy ring?"
No, awesome.
And he's like, and Eamon's like, "You're very observant. It wasn't originally mine, but now it is." Um, both of my parents, when we were watching last night, were like, she shouldn't have brought that part up
Yeah,
because,
not
like,
right now.
just a regular human probably wouldn't know that ring is a police academy ring. Only cops would.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, we have work. Come on, bestie. We have work
I'm
to
really
do.
hoping the camera captured that.
It did. I know. I see. Casually leans over, think at the thoughts that I give you during our recording session.
Okay,
Excellent.
yeah. Okay. Um, I'll explain near the end. I can't say it right
Yeah.
now. Okay. Yeah. Ah!
Ainsley tweeting, I think.
Ainsley
That I,
tweeted about the article. They both saw
yes,
and Ainsley with the cute little soft eye, happy tear-eyed
I
emoji in
know we're
the
like,
part.
we're trying to work. We're trying to work. We're
Oh,
trying to
the
work.
fact that she's like, oh my
I was
gosh,
real tempted
people
to
like
put my
liked it this
shirt back
much.
on
Yes,
to
people love
record.
it this much.
I know. You and I have it has a chokehold on us.
Yeah, we'll get to it because I know we
Has a goddamn
usually
chokehold on us.
don't tag people
Yeah,
directly. I think we
we
might
just
have
don't.
to this time.
We might have to for this
We might
one.
have to
Just
this time. Especially with the episode title that we're going to
yes,
give it, which we'll explain
yes.
later.
We planned this a week ago.
We claimed
Colin
this
was
a
like,
week ago, and
he was like, this is the episode. And I was like, no, we gotta save that for next
we're
time.
gonna start the campaign for something. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay,
Yeah,
we're gonna
that's fine.
freaking leave off. Yes,
Uh,
the helicopter. So apparently, the guy that
uh,
came off this helicopter is an Irish boxing champion.
yeah,
Hence the episode title, Punch Drunk.
blood
It's
punch,
like a
punch drunk. Why do I call it blood punch? It's punch drunk.
boxing term.
Yeah.
Um, yay. Um, and so basically, um, that's the end of like the date scene. We go back to the bureau, and Elliot's explaining like this thing with the boxing. It's like
Mm-hmm.
basically the Murphys and Morellos do it as like a usual thing.
That's how they settle discourse.
That's
That's
how
how
they
they
settle discourse. They don't do gun fights or verbal
we
fights.
box it out.
They
We
do it
duke
the
it out with our fists.
old-fashioned way. Boxing.
Mm. So I think somebody makes a comment about that. Where he's like, it's better than bodies.
Yeah, it's
You
better
know,
than like people
killing
dying,
people.
but
Somebody says that in the episode. It might be Elliot or somebody says it's better than well
maybe I don't know.
bodies.
Okay,
Somebody
so
says it. Somebody brings it up later.
I think at
Sorry,
one point, like,
hot socks. I
um,
hate my
Jet needs to go take a phone call because
yeah.
Seamus is calling, and then Elliot's like, "I gotta go set up a boxing match."
And then they were like,
Of
huh?
course, of course, it's you who's doing it.
Wait, that's kind
I'm
of. I
honestly
mean, not gonna
surprised.
lie, I thought he was gonna box, but it didn't happen. But that's
I know,
fine.
I was just about to say that. I'm honestly surprised he's the one who was boxing, but then
I
again,
was like, Elliot
Irish
didn't box anymore.
heavyweight boxing champion.
I really, but I guess he
Alex
was like, I'm too old for
favorite
that. I can't be.
man.
Elliot knows he's too old for boxing anyway. He can't be.
You sure about that?
I
I
mean, he
really don't
wouldn't
think
think
he thinks
so.
that.
He would go do it. He would go do it. It's so much challenge,
No, yeah.
but
If he had to, he would go do the
he
math.
would go do it.
But
But they were like, no,
they got a
not.
heavyweight champion instead. So anyway, um, Jet goes to take a phone call from Seamus. I don't think they showed the conversation, but she came back into the room, and Ayana had this blown up picture of the Academy ring,
The ring.
and she's showing it to Jet, and she said, "Jet, is this the ring that you saw last night?" And Jet says, "Yes, that's exactly it." Why? Um, we find out that that's Jennings' police academy ring.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, the ring came off the hand that the dog ate, meaning it's Jennings' ring. We
Mhm.
obviously knew Jennings was dead. Nope, never mind. I'm getting characters.
I think you're a little, you're getting details
Jennings
mixed up
is
here.
the partner, Ariana's former partner that was killed. Now we have
Mhm.
more proof that's showing that, yeah, Murphy absolutely did it because he get the hand is old and gray, meaning he's kept it
Yeah.
for a while, which is gross.
Uh-uh. Somebody's unlucky day is missing their hand.
So she shows Jet the ring. Jet confirms that it's absolutely that ring. Jet
Mm-hmm.
says, "Sarge, do you need me?" And then Ayana cuts her off and says, "I need you to stay focused." And that's the end. And I'm like,
Mm. Oh.
she's trying to help you.
Mm.
And then we transition to Ayana going to visit
Mm.
Thurman in his office,
Yeah.
and he's basically
Yeah.
like, "Hello." And she goes on saying, um, "I know you've been questioning it, but this is the ring. This shows that my investigation isn't off.
Yeah.
Murphy killed my partner."
Mm-hmm.
And at one point, Thurman says, "I never question your instincts. It's your judgment I'm worried about." And then we
Mm.
find out that IAB is opening an investigation into Iana, which is a
Mm.
sentence I never thought I'd hear.
I be not great times.
Yeah, no. And then he wrote, "I thought we were gonna like Ray. Apparently not."
Mm. He's questionable. I was already kind of
Yeah.
suspicious from the start.
Uh,
Something
yeah.
didn't feel
I
right.
mean, I get it. He was way too nice and way too admirable of Ayana, but you know. So, yep. And the reason IAB is opening an investigation into Ayana is Thurman said something. He also asked her, like, "You could have had this job. Why didn't you?"
Yeah.
Um, and he also compared her way of starting to do things to the way that Stabler's doing things.
We're like, mm.
Stabler's
You're
like
like, no,
influencing her. It was like, no,
mm,
we're not gonna
no.
go there. It's two
That's a
different
no.
things.
Yes,
Unless
very.
Ayana starts punching somebody next episode, then it's still completely two different things.
It's would be justified anger
Yeah,
about
hers is
what happened,
hers
but we
is
can't spoil it. Can't spoil what happened,
absolutely
but we'll get.
justified. Like, if I had all this proof right
And no
in
one
front
believes it.
and my boss was ignoring all of it, I'd get mad too. And that's basically what Ayana is at this point. And then
Mm,
the guy is questioning her about why she didn't take the deputy chief job. And she
mm,
said, "I chose to keep my job because I love my team and I trust them more than I trust the politics in this office." And then we get
mm,
a badass line from Danielle, and she says,
mm.
"When it comes to solving the murder of my former partner, no one is going to stop me."
And
And
that's
then she
we're like,
walks
"Ooh."
out of the office. Yes!
Or like, yes,
It was
queen.
so good. I was like, "Oh my god,
So good.
go." Um, like, just usual Yana is great. Firm, slightly angry,
Boss queen.
confident
Yeah, like,
Ayana is a whole another level.
you know, we were
Okay.
like, oh,
Um,
queen. Okay.
then we transition to the guys talking about like how they have a drug dealer they arrested last episode
Yeah,
who works for the Murphys. Uh, and now they need him to do another drug deal to gain Murphy's trust
that one was hilarious. And he's like,
get
you want me to
more
buy drugs? And they're like,
on
no.
him. And then Ayana's like, okay, go. So they Whelan and Reyes go to the
And the boy,
visit him in prison. And the guy is like, you want me to buy drugs? And Reyes says, no, we want you to buy more drugs.
and I was like,
Like, okay. So basically they are trying to get him to do this drug deal, set it up, everything. Then the next scene we get is Jet going on another uh, Jet going on another date as
mm,
Juliet with Seamus.
yeah,
Um, and we get outfit like
lost
for
track. There's a
of
lot
the
of like
night.
so many good
And
ones.
she got another like long fur coat on and like this really sparkly dress.
Hmm.
I love this. I know this isn't Jet's usual style, but I will not complain if she wears this more often. Um,
Hmm.
they're literally talking about just how things have been going.
And and
And
Seamus won't talk about what he does for a living. Was it good?
um, and then on that, and then Jet says, "Stop the car." And James is like, "What? What?" He stops the car, and she gets out, and he follows her, and she's like, "I can't do this anymore." And she turns
Yeah,
around.
literally.
I know what you do. I know about the Morellos and
Yeah.
Murphys. Everybody in this neighborhood does. And she's like holding her like coat clothes and she's got her arms crossed and she's got this like sad little
Yeah.
expression on her
I was
face.
like,
And I'm like,
she's precious. Our little angel baby.
yeah.
We
And Seamus is like, what do you want? Um, and Jet says the truth. So this can be what we want it to be.
yeah.
Um, and he says, I can't. And are you scared? She said, no, and Seamus says, I'm more scared that you won't respect me. And then Jet replies, Seamus, I wouldn't be here if I didn't already respect you. It's like she had a slight hesitation between already and respect. I was like,
Yeah. Had to pick the right words there
she
because
had
she
to
was
figure
like,
out like what the right words to say were. I love that like Jet can literally just think on her feet like that, which is
yes.
um and that was the end. And then Seamus like we see the camera change to Ayana is in her car, um, like surveying, watching this happen.
Mm-hmm.
Seamus is like rubbing Juliet's arms, and Juliet has like her head tilted and like this happy, flirty smile on her face, and we see Ayana with the camera shot. Ayana's face in her rear view mirror. Um, and I wrote, I'll have to change this.
Maybe she's also
Like,
stop
later.
something.
I wrote before we started doing things, and I just meant this in general, didn't mean it exactly. I wrote Mama Bear Ayana might be coming soon. And I originally wrote that because I'm like, I thought Ayana's angry reaction was more towards Seamus.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like, doing this with Jet, but also I was like,
Mm-hmm.
is she getting mad at Jet?
Yeah, it's kind of like
So I have to change that because Danielle
Danielle
came
stops.
with a tweet this afternoon. Um, a very valid tweet. And it says, "Y'all gotta stop calling Belle Jet's mom. She's not old enough to be her mama. Big sister, yes. But you all not try not to." I have to read this.
Play
You
this
wanna read
one.
it?
Yeah, she says, hold on, I gotta, yo, I thought it was so funny cracking up. She said that
It
she,
was.
at work, she said, hold on, Google Docs, I need you to open the link. Stop acting like this. Stop. What? Okay. Yeah, she was like, she said, oh, that's the wrong one. Hold on. But I can find it. That was the wrong one.
Yeah, is it the one that's at the
Hold
bottom
on.
I just posted? Put I'm gonna
That's
have
one from last night.
I should
Where did it go? She said, um, she says yes, but y'all aren't gonna age Belle because she's wise, strong, and black. I said what I said. Carry on. Happy Black History.
To which I replied, "Noted. Understood. Will not do
Understood the
that again."
assignment. Understood the assignment.
Um, but I will also say it's funny how collectively we all just went, Ayana is like Jet's mom.
And she was like,
Now we
no.
all are like, okay, noted. Ayana is now like Jet's big sister, but also her sergeant, which I absolutely love. Um, so anyway, yeah, I have to change what I wrote. Um, okay. So the next thing we get is uh Jet with Ayana and Elliot in Ayana's office again.
I'm still
Explain
here. Don't worry
what
about what. Well, you're gonna
they're gonna
hold
like.
on.
How there's like this hit that's going to be happening that Seamus has to like Murphy put out a hit on somebody in the Morello gang, and Seamus is the one who has to complete the hit. This is the first time when talking to Ayana and Elliot that Jet uses Seamus's first
Can't
name.
turn the air conditioner on. I put my
Yes, you
shirt on.
got the shirt.
Well, you see, the air. I can't turn. I'm at my house. That means I can't turn the air on. So, and I was getting a little sweaty.
Okay,
And I
for
was
those of
like,
you who can't see it, Taryn is awesome and has a Jet shirt.
yeah, I
I
wore it.
don't I
Three.
don't have one, but I went with
What?
Jet's signature color, I guess. Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
I'll be
so
sending you a
this is the
lovely little
first
present soon. But I'm not telling you what it is. So,
yay. So this is the first time I'm excited for it. So this is the first time where um when talking to Rihanna and Elliot, Jet uses Seamus's first name
oh
nonchalantly.
yeah, I didn't even miss. I missed.
Like she's
Anyway, continue.
like saying it like firmly. This time she's like, Seamus wouldn't do that, and you could see Ayana and Elliot
She
both
was like,
are
"Can
like,
you, what do you know?"
we're going with the first name now. Um, and Jet is trying to explain that Seamus doesn't want to do this hit. Um, and Ayana says, "How do you know that?" And then we get another one of Jet's funny lines through the episode. She's like sitting in the office, her hand on her knee. She's like twiddling her fingers and she says, "Please don't force me to use the expression woman's intuition," which is hysterical to me.
And I was like,
And then
mm.
Danielle and Ainsley put up tweets about that line. And Danielle put, "I personally think woman's intuition is a real thing and we should trust it always." Yes, agreed.
Thanks.
And then Ainsley, what did Ainsley put? I know Ainsley had something. Where'd it go?
You did all these lovely little links for us
Um,
because I didn't.
I don't know if this had anything to do with like the. Oh, nope. I'll save that. That's for something else. It's a good tweet though. Okay.
They're all great tweets. We funny banger tweets
Women's
last night.
intuition, which I thought it was
Mhm.
funny. It's like, yes, I know he doesn't want to do this because I can tell because I don't know, I'm a woman. But please don't make me use that expression. We're not going there.
Mm. We
I don't know.
we gotta use that a little bit later in our fic, but
Yeah,
not now.
definitely. I
Yeah.
just thought it was funny. Um,
We're using it. Well, this fic we're running is so good.
the line
Like,
is funny. And I
the
wrote,
problem with us not being able to post the fic is that like we have the beginning and we have
yeah,
like the back end.
we
I'm
have
not
to
raising my hand here.
um save
The middle, because we
yeah,
don't know what the middle's
for
about.
like the actual episode when we get the context because we want to write some things, but we also want to use actual episode dialogue and details.
Yeah, but we don't have it, so
You know
you have
how
the trailer, and that's all it told us.
we had the promo, that's it. All right,
Yeah,
we're getting off track again.
sorry.
uh
Y'all, that fic is so good. I want to write it again so bad, but we gotta get
loving
this
it.
done.
Okay. Anyway, so Jet sees that it's a role that Seamus is basically playing, like in his um role as Murphy's second
Yeah,
commander.
no.
Um, and then both Ayana and Elliot are looking at Jet like, um, what is
They're
going
like,
on? And Jet, being the confident one that she is, says, I know how this sounds. I know what you two are thinking. And then stands up and says, but a good detective uses every tool at their disposal. And I'm telling you what I feel about Seamus is right. Confidence Jet
yeah. I
has
was like,
in this
ooh, let's
episode.
see.
So,
I almost
so
want to
good.
watch it again, but we can't watch it again because we got to talk about it.
We
We
gotta
always
talk
want to watch it
about
again.
this, then we'll go watch it again. Um, so the next scene is supposed to be the drug deal. Well, unfortunately, the guy they wanted to have do the drug deal got cold feet
Mhm.
and did not show up.
Yeah.
Problem is, Murphy's still coming. So Stabler tells Whelan and Reyes to go in the back room. He was gonna handle this. Um, and he basically has to go out to Murphy and say, unfortunately, the deal isn't happening. And Murphy, being Murphy, does something that nobody has made Elliot Stabler do
Oh,
in a while. He makes him apologize for the deal falling through, calls him boy, um,
Mr. Dang got
which
humbled
is like,
real quick.
whoa, we're going there.
Is it
Yeah.
Elliot Stabler got humbled real
I
quick?
know, yeah,
That's it.
exactly. Stabler got very humbled and he said, you need to repeat back to me that the only um person's issues that matter right now are mine. And Elliot does. And he says, I'm sorry, I'm going to do everything I can to make this right. That type of thing. And I'm like, oh my
We got
God.
humbled real quick. I guess he doesn't want to be eaten by that dog.
Yeah, he
You
doesn't want
know?
to be another
He's,
dog. This
he's
is
like,
the
no,
like criminal boss
humbled.
that has Elliot
Yeah,
Stabler
he's yeah,
nervous and shaking. And I'm like,
yeah. He's at his beck and call. Like, I mean,
this
it's like
is
humbled.
happening.
No, you're like, yo, this episode is so good. Sorry. I'm gonna keep saying this episode is so good
Yeah.
because it's so good.
And then we get to the big scene of the night.
Hmm.
One of the big scenes of the night.
There's many of them.
It's one of the big ones from the promo. Um,
Hmm.
we see Seamus is packing a bag, and then there's a knock on the door.
He packs the bag and he has a gun. He puts the gun
Yeah,
back. That's
gun
part of the gun is important.
knock on the door, and Jet is standing there, and this is basically like, what are you? And I think no, she says, "Oh, you're alive."
You know, because he was like,
Basically,
she's like, you
like,
won't return my calls. You
yeah,
know, he was kind of,
Leah has been like trying to call him and everything. She's like, "You won't return my calls, anything." Um, and she's like, where are you going?" And he again says, "Work." Um, and Jed's like, "You need to be honest with me, like, um, explain." And he's like, "You need to go. Like, I
mm,
can't
so
tell
cool.
you this." Um, and then says, um, this is like the scene where I was like, oh my god,
Mhm.
Ainsley is so good. I don't
We
know
were
what's
there
Jet
for a second
anymore
when we
and what's
watched,
Juliet anymore. Like that makes sense because they
and
said
that was the point. And that was the point. That the lines were
summary
supposed to
that
look
like
blurred.
yeah, giant the Jet's lines were gonna blur between her personal and professional lives. And I was like, oh my god, this is so good.
So good.
She looks at him
I
and she's
was,
like, what about our art? What about our art gallery? And he's like, I need to go. You need to go. I need to go do this. Um, and she says, just stay with me, please. So at this point, Seamus doesn't know that, obviously, doesn't know that Juliet Jet knows all this information.
yeah,
So he thinks it's all very sincere, and he doesn't want this girl wrapped up in
you
his
did it.
criminal business.
Because he's about to try to buck out of here.
And
You.
knows that Seamus is about to go kill somebody,
Mm-hmm.
kill the
That's what
person
his plan was. You gonna kill somebody, you gotta do it.
Murphy has a hit on.
Mm-hmm.
So Jet went there to stop him from um
Doing the thing,
going
the
through with the
king.
um so it's like that different situations.
Mm-hmm.
Um yeah, she says, just stay with me, please. And he says, the last chance. Go. And the way he says it
I was a
is
little
like
scared. I was like,
serious. Like he's like, seriously, you need to go. But also there's a sense of protectiveness to it.
mm-hmm.
Because he
'Cause
doesn't want
he's falling. He does love her. He's
yeah,
falling for her.
he doesn't want Juliet to get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Um at this point, like he's got his hands on her arms. He tries to like move her
Mm-hmm. Towards the door, so she
with
will
the
leave.
doors. She goes and she like moves up, like rushes to him. Is basically like, don't let go of me
Mm-hmm.
right now. We're not doing this. She puts his a hand on his cheek. There's this like moment of small silence, and then Jet leans
It
in and kisses him. This is the moment where we both
was
start
it.
like
We're
freaking
like
out.
the
Like,
what?
what is going on? We
But once
obviously
you watch the episode, you'll be like,
know what's
ah.
happening because it is in the promo. Um, she kisses him. They look at each other. They kiss again, and then the kiss starts to grow in passion,
We're
and
like,
it looks like they're moving across the room, and that is the end of the scene. So we have an
yeah,
entire
we're like,
commercial break to deal with the fact that Jet just kissed Seamus
yeah, we're
in
like,
his apartment
they're
while
going
she's
towards the
supposed to
bed.
be undercover.
Yeah, we're like, ooh.
What? And we're like, what is happening?
We're like, girlie, what are you doing?
Yeah, he's like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
We're,
What are you doing? Okay.
we're like,
Um,
sweet angel baby, what are you doing?
and then we
Yeah,
have the more tweets.
I'm sorry. So good.
I decided to put
We,
this is this
we,
so
we
they
linked
put
all of them
this.
for.
Danielle posted this during the commercial break, and I sent this to you
Oh yeah, it's so funny.
in a panic. This is
I
before we
don't.
got. This is before we got the rest of the episode. I was like, oh my god. Um,
This is
and
an episode you have to watch again because it makes sense the second time.
it makes
You're
more
like,
sense the second time
oh,
around. When you're watching it the first time, you're like,
your
huh,
mouth's gonna be a
and
fly mouth
you're like,
again, being like,
ha ha.
yeah, you
Um,
gotta watch it again. If you haven't, if y'all love the episode, watch it a second time. You'll be like, oh,
so Danielle, what? See, Jet, you're doing too much. You're supposed to be undercover, not under the covers.
so
With
you're
a
like, wait, what?
frowning emoji and side laughing emoji, and I sent that to you in a panic. I was like, Taryn,
We were like,
what,
they
what,
weren't doing the
what if
sheet
we,
down.
what,
I was
what
like, they
if,
didn't do the sheet down.
Yeah,
They did not
that's
do
what
the
we
shooting.
thought, 'cause I mean,
I didn't think
it
they did.
ended
I
with
was like, I
him
was convinced
like
they
that.
didn't because Jet wouldn't do that. I don't think that's the. I think that's a line Jet probably wouldn't actually cross.
Yeah, I agree. Um, and then Wolf Entertainment.
I said, Wolf Entertainment. I mean, the person who writes their tweets is, I don't know, they're horrendous. I'm like, what's wrong with you all?
Literally puts a GIF of the kiss and it says, "Not sure Jet's acting anymore."
They said, get out of here. Don't
I
talk
was
to me
like,
ever
"Oh
again.
my god, what? Oh, oh,
Don't talk to me ever.
they got, God,
I
can't
know.
even,
I said, don't talk to
God,
me
they
so
got the
you
whole
son
thing."
of a gun. He said,
Um,
Wolf Entertainment. No, like, I mean, your tweets are bad a lot of the time, but
and I was like,
not.
"Oh my god."
I mean, their tweets are bad a lot of the time, but this one,
Um,
man.
so once we come back from the commercial break, we
You know,
see
we were working on
Ethan,
another Jet piece. We had an idea for another fic that we were working on at the same time working on this one because
because I
the
had a
idea came.
dream based on the fact that we knew Jet was going undercover, and
Yep.
I had
One day we're gonna do a podcast episode where we break down all of our little fits.
about
And we're like, these
undercover.
are some tiny
I was like,
ideas we have.
writing this. We needed to go back to it eventually, but right now we're doing the post this
Yeah.
episode.
I got like post ideas for it. We just haven't. I'm sorry.
After the commercial break, um,
It was about to go boom too in a couple minutes, but we'll keep going.
we got the promo. Not the promo. Oh my God, we're back in the bureau, and Jamie looks at his watch and looks up and sees Jet walk in, and he says, "Where have you been?" And she hangs up her coat and she's like, "Home, getting ready for work."
You
Um,
know, like
and then he says, Sarge wants to talk to you. And Ayana calls Jet into her office, and
oh
Ayana
yeah,
opens
this
the door, which everybody in organized crime knows.
you get the door closed, you did a baddie.
Yeah, exactly. The door's closed, it's not good. And this is the
In
first time
trouble.
Jet has ever been in her office where she's closed the door.
The door is closed, you're in trouble.
I was like, oh my god, she closed the door on her. What is gonna happen? And then we get the first scene of the night where Ainsley and Danielle put on a showcase.
Yeah, it's,
Um,
it's,
and Ayana looks right at Jet and says, "You have one chance to explain what happened last night." And Jet was like, "Explain what?" And Ayana hands her this file. Jet opens it and sees there's pictures of her at Seamus's place last night kissing him. And she's looking through the photos, like you could almost hear her heavy breathing.
yeah, but
Like
like, oh
she's
shit,
like,
kind of.
oh my god. So before the next line, I thought, oh my god, there's somebody following her. Who took
Yeah,
pictures?
who took these pictures?
The
The
bitch
word
turns
is
right around Yana and says, "You had me followed last night." I was like,
you need to make sure you were coming back alive, homie. Like there was a reasonable thing that you were being followed.
what? And she said, yes. Um, forget what Ayana says before this. But the next big Jet line, which literally just has so much to unpack in one sentence, is looks right at Ayana with the folder still in her hand, and she says, "I didn't sleep with him."
And they were
We're like, first we're like, okay, good. But second,
like
I
the
was like, her
assumption that was
voice
made by that. We're like,
is cracking.
mm,
She's embarrassed. She's upset. But she also wants Ayana to know she would never do that.
mm-hmm,
It's also a sentence I never thought we'd have to hear Jet say.
mm-hmm,
And there's negative, like good connotations behind it and bad connotations behind it. Good
mm-hmm.
connotations. we know that even if she's undercover, Jet would not cross that line.
Yeah, that's a line.
All right, well, Zoom went boom again, so we're back. So the last thing I was saying, good connotations. We know that Jet wouldn't cross that line on undercover. Bad connotations, that it would be assumed that from the pictures that she possibly would.
And I was like,
And I was
I
like,
wouldn't have made that
that's
assumption. Come
not
on.
a good label or like a thing to be assumed about Jet.
Mm-hmm.
Especially because she is still young. She's young. She's still a
Mm-hmm.
rookie. Um, she's also the only, besides Ayana, the only female
Yeah.
on the task force now. Before she walked into the office, there's a camera shot of her looking at both Reyes and Whelan before she walked into the office.
Mm-hmm.
Like, now her coworkers are gonna know something's going on. Do I
Yeah.
think they would ever use this against her?
Mm-hmm.
No. But just that one line, this whole situation is something big.
Yeah, because Ayana explains that like a jury, if this went to trial and a jury saw these pictures, it would like make it seem that Jet would be biased and it would be no good. Yeah, that's
I yeah. So I saw this point in an article, and it said that um they wouldn't have these photos if Ayana didn't get them taken.
yeah.
So why would a jury? So a jury wouldn't even know about this
Mm-hmm.
without the photos. So it makes me
Yeah,
wonder.
they'd have to be submitted as evidence. And then that means the prosecution and the defense would have them.
So Jet's next point was to throw them away. And I was like, honestly, yeah, because it just makes me wonder why photos were taken in the first place. I,
Mm-hmm.
like, there would be no bias without the photos. The photos weren't necessary.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, we do find out that the photos were kind of necessary to show Jet what she was falling into,
Mm-hmm.
but also on the other side of the issue, they weren't fully necessary either.
Yeah.
So there's two sides to the photo situation.
Mm-hmm.
So, she says, throw them away. And then she says, please, Stabler has done so much worse than this.
No, that's so, ooh. That's
I
just,
laughed.
ooh.
I'm sorry, I laughed, but also the fact that Jet knows.
I mean, we've been using that for a while, but I
We've been
mean,
saying that for a
obviously,
while. But the fact that
we've
we
been saying
finally canonically know that Jet knows
knows.
that Stabler has done so much worse on undercover operations, and now she makes one mistake and it's being held over her head.
Yeah.
Like, Stabler actually slept with somebody undercover.
Multiple, no, more than once.
Mm, like, he
Well,
slept with Flatora
questionable.
undercover.
That, yeah, possibly. You go on dates with Angela. Yes,
Yeah,
it was with the,
stole her
um,
underwear.
Stone, yeah, can't forget that one. That's a one I'll never will like. That's a
Like, Jed is absolutely right that Stabler has done so much worse
so
than
much
this.
worse.
I also, just the fact that she knows it.
Everybody, I mean, everybody knows SVU made
Everybody
that.
knows it.
Literally everyone knows.
We can't
Literally everyone.
deny, like, the respect that Jet has for Stabler and vice versa. But
Mm-hmm.
also that, like Jamie in the recent episodes, both him and Jet are realizing, or like they have already realized it, but now are being forward about the fact that they know that Stabler has crossed lines that if they crossed, would get in trouble for it, unlike he did.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then Ayana, so Jed's like, yeah, Stabler has done so much worse than this. Um, And
So we're
then
not
Jet
talking about
says,
Stabler.
we're not talking about Stabler. And Jet says, no, we aren't. We're talking about me and you. And then she continues and says, you never believed I was ready for this. Well, I am. I have been. And you need to show me the same respect you show everyone else in this office. We're going to pause because I made a note. And I was like, what haven't we seen like behind the scenes that makes Jet think that Ayana isn't showing her respect? The only scenes that I can think of were before the episode where they were all like trapped in the warehouse together.
Mm-hmm.
Were all like the conversations that Ayana, when Jet was trying to check in on Ayana, and Ayana would brush her off.
Yeah.
That's the only things I could think of.
Yeah.
Moment.
I agree
But
with
then
that.
also Ayana was like, if you want to go to Italy, you can. And Jet is like, no, I don't want to go. And Ayana heard that.
Mm-hmm.
So it just makes me wonder, like, what in Jet's mind makes her think that Ayana didn't respect her as much
Mm-hmm.
as everybody else in the office. And it's also important that, like, this is important because with Jet being the only other woman in the office, it's important that Ayana and Jet would have a respect for each other because they're both women. The fact that
Yeah.
Jet thinks that Ayana doesn't is a problem.
Mm-hmm.
So then Ayana responds, oh, the same way you're showing me respect now is like, ooh. I very much believe that Jet very much respects Ayana, but also is confident enough in herself that knows when she has to stand up for herself,
Mm-hmm.
as she is right
Which is
now.
what she does.
And Jet continues and says, you told me to step up, and that's what I did. And Ayana says, you're falling for him. And she says, I'm not falling for him.
She gives her like the straightest face, being like, I'm not falling for him.
Yeah, she's like, I'm not falling for him. And then Ayana says, then why are you still wearing the necklace he gave you?
And
And
we're
we
like,
and Jet's hand immediately goes to her neck. She touches the necklace and she slowly staggers back and sinks into a chair. Now, Taryn and I were talking about this earlier of like what the realization could have been,
mm-hmm.
whether it was she realized she never took the necklace off, or
Mm-hmm.
possibly was it more of an emotional reaction. And I'll explain why I was questioning that when we get to it. But just to see Jet go from this fully like confident, almost angry situation to being told by her boss that there might be a big problem and her it hitting her like a brick in an instant.
Mm-hmm.
It just shows like the vulnerability that Jet has, which I love. And then Ayana says, I'm taking you off this case. And Jet does this little like head shake, like, no,
Yeah, like,
don't
don't,
take
please
the
don't.
case. And Ayana says, it's final, and sends her out of the office. Um, and I literally wrote, oh my God. And I put it on Twitter and I tagged both Ainsley and Danielle. I was like, the talent that you two have, if you're listening, because we were most likely going to tag you in this,
We're gonna tell you about those
we're
women
telling
now.
you right now, the
We're gonna
talent that
tell
you
you.
have, oh, so damn good. Okay.
Chef's
The next
kiss.
scene, which I forgot to write anything about because I was busy processing the Jet and Ayana
Yeah.
scene,
Red is I'm gonna say right now.
was
Jet sitting at the little break room table and
oh
she's
no,
there
no,
and
there was a scene
one more.
before it. So because the drug deal got messed up, they need
Mm-hmm.
somebody else to go do it. So Elliot got Teddy to go do it. So we have Teddy
Oh
and
yeah, yeah.
Murphy having a conversation. of like setting up the buy at the bar that
Mhm.
night, all that. That is about all of that scene that I remember. Because again,
You
processing.
were so processed, and we're like, "Oh," that's really bad.
In
It
the
was bad.
next scene, we got a Jet sitting in the break room. Seamus is calling her. She hangs up, and Reyes walks into the room. You could immediately tell.
She's got the like the
Yes.
death glare.
Yeah,
She death
death
stares
glare,
him
Jet
down.
is
I was
so
like,
mad.
oh, I was like,
Um,
oh, oh.
and she looks right at him, and she's like, um, "You took photos of me," and she says,
And that was
"Sergeant
the well,
orders."
Arch told me
I
to.
did, but it's sergeant's orders. Because Ayana was realizing that maybe Jet was falling for him, so she needed pictures to show that, yeah, you kind of are.
Yeah,
But then again, photos not fully necessary. I'm rambling. I explained it earlier. There's good parts about the photos being taken,
hmm,
helping helping Jet. Bad part,
so that could be used against her.
it could be used against her, and the um, yeah, it could be used against her, and the photos didn't need there wouldn't be photos if Ayana didn't have Reyes take them. Okay.
Yeah,
Um, I think I've over explained that, but everything I've said has been kind of important. Anyway,
it's all
um,
important. So I'll just
yeah, so
so
Reyes took
good.
the photos for Ayana's orders, and Jet's mad. Uh, and he starts going, and she says, "You could have warned me before she called me into her office." And her voice like breaks a bit because she's like upset, also mad. Um, and Reyes says, "What good would that have done?" Um,
Yeah,
and then he goes to look. I get how hard it can be when you're deep undercover, because that's what Reyes is known for. When he came to organized crime, he's known for his undercover work. Uh, so he's definitely the right person to be able to have a conversation with Jet about this. But when he says, "Look, I get how hard it can be when you're deep undercover," Jet does not hear any of it. She stands right up and starts to leave the room, and he calls out Jet. Now, I could be wrong, but in my head, I think there's two reasons why Jet wanted to leave the room. A, she was mad at Reyes for taking the pictures and didn't want to hear this from him right now. Two, going undercover as a woman and going undercover as a man are
I
two
did.
completely different things.
Mm-hmm.
Reyes took these personal photos of Jet during an undercover mission from Ayana, because of Ayana's orders. But her, him saying, "I get how hard it is
When you don't.
when you keep undercover. What do you know about being possibly accused of sleeping with a perp
Yeah.
undercover?" Like, could Reyes get that? Yes. But Jet getting it as a woman with this kind of situation and being told, try to explain it from her male colleague,
Yeah.
that could possibly just be another reason why she was upset. But
Mm-hmm.
she decided to hear him out. Um, and he says, "Belle has her job. You need to prove to her that you can do your job and not be a threat to hers."
Mm-hmm.
Um, the next scene is we get Ayana in the house, and we're both like,
Her
"Casual
apartment
Belle,
again. You haven't
casual
seen her
Belle."
apartment.
We haven't
You
seen
haven't
her
seen her
apartment
apartment
since Denise left.
because it was sad. That was the
Since
last
everything
time
was
we saw
sad
her.
and Denise left. So
Oh
we
man.
know that Ayana is living there alone now, and we get casual Belle in like this t-shirt and the sweater
Yeah.
and her headband around and her like
Yeah.
braids all tied up in her ponytail. She opens the
Okay.
door and Jet literally
And
falls
stumbling
into
in
her
there.
arms and says, "All right, I'm in love with him."
And we're like, huh?
And we're like, "What? Oh my God." Because at least for me, I was like, had a feeling that could be part of it, but I also didn't want it to be a part of it because I was
Yeah.
scared what that would mean if she actually was,
Mhm.
um, like, if this was actually a part of it. Um, Ayana, like, hoists Jet up and, like, puts her on her sofa,
She looks
and she's like,
get you
"How
some water.
much have you been how
Oh
much do"
yeah,
and
she's
Jet's like,
I have
"I haven't been drinking," and
we're like,
starts yelling,
girl,
and Ayana's like, "Nope, you're not
don't throw up
throwing
on my sofa.
up," and hands her, a trash can.
She don't throw up on
"Gonna
my
get you
sofa.
water." And she goes into this like, Jet goes into this drunk, rambling of, "Seamus is such a wonderful man. I wish you saw him like I did. I'm falling for him." And then she looks right at Ayana and is like, "He sees me. Do you see me right now?"
You
And
know,
Ayana's like, "I see that you're drunk and you need to drink this water." And then Jet, being the genius that she is, said, "Do you really see me right now?" Immediately sits right up and says, "Because that's not me at all right now. And I'm not in love with Seamus."
we were like,
They were like, "Good, but also, what?"
we were like, what a plan. We're like, what a plan.
What? What?
We were like,
Because I was like, "Oh my gosh, Jet's actually drunk. This is
this is
not
sad.
good. This has
Yeah.
messed her up that bad."
Mm-hmm.
And no, instead we get Ainsley playing Jet playing drunk, which I love. And Ayana, the look on Ayana's face was priceless. She's like, "What?
Mm-hmm.
What is going on?"
Mm-hmm.
And Jet says, "What is going on is I came here to show you I'm a good actress." I love that she used the word actress.
And I was so
Just
cool.
like, I don't know exactly what it is about it, but I love the choice of words. Show you I'm a good actress. And that when it comes to Amara, to doing my job, I know how to play a part. It was like, whoa.
Mm-hmm. I was like, oh my drop.
And then she continues to say, "I know you think I kissed him because I liked him, but the truth is it was a tactical mistake, not an emotional mistake."
We were
So I
like,
didn't
oh,
really fully understand how it was a tactical mistake until I watched the episode again.
you gotta watch. Like, you have to watch it again. Like, you're telling.
Earlier when you said that um Jet went to visit Seamus to get him to stop the hit,
Mhm.
her plan was just to like verbally talk to him to get him to not leave and not do the
But
hit.
that wasn't working.
It wasn't working. So the next thing she possibly had to do was kiss him. So it was a tactical mistake because her plan wasn't fully working and she had to think of something else. What she thought of wasn't a good idea. Because even Ayana said was like, um, when in the office, Ayana said, "You were going there to get him to stop from doing the hit. That was it." And Jet said, "He was on his way to do it when I got there. I had to stop him." And Ayana says, "There's other ways to do that." So Jet says, "Yes, it was a tactical mistake. I should have realized that there were other ways to do it besides kissing him.
But it worked in
And
the
it was
moment, though.
not an emotional mistake. There was no feelings behind that kiss."
Mm-hmm.
Um, and Ayana says, "So you admit you made a mistake?" And Ayana says, "Yes, and I'm sorry. I shouldn't have crossed the line." And then we get the lines that I have been waiting 3 seasons to hear.
Mm-hmm.
I like did a emotional squeal. Jet looks right at Ayana and says, "I just wanted you to be proud of me." It was like,
Mm-hmm. So, Angel
because ever
Baby,
since
real quick.
we've started writing Jet, that's been a common theme that we've been saying that
Mm-hmm.
anything Jet does, she just wants to make Ayana proud. And
Mm-hmm.
now we canonically know that Jet wants to make Ayana proud. And then Jet
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Jet says that, and Ayana replies, "I am proud of you." And I was like, "She said it! She
And I
said
was like,
it! Oh god." So, that was the moment when I was still thinking the, mom, Belle side of
yeah,
things.
apparently it's not.
I still I do so now we have to do, um but yeah, it definitely makes sense to hear from, like, both the sergeant perspective and now the big
Mm,
sister perspective, and I was like, "Oh my god, they finally said it, they're finally freaking talking." They said it, 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 Ayanna is proud of
like,
Jet, and Jet wants Ayanna to be proud of her, and she isn't yet.
mm,
Also, the picture that I showed earlier of Jet with, like, the mascara running down her face is from this scene,
mm.
because like,
Yeah,
Jet
it makes sense now. I like
it
it.
looks like Jet is, like, crying drunk, and we see, like, when Jet, like, snaps back to, she, like, wipes,
She
like, the
wipes it.
fake tears or tears from her eyes and is like, "Yeah, nope, not drunk."
Gotcha. Mhm.
Um, I want just want you to be proud of me. I am proud of you. And then that is when Jet, so nope, Ayana starts to tell Jet about her partner. She takes down a picture from her days at the academy. She said it was
Mhm.
just around this all happened around the time that like Ayana was Jet's age. Uh, and we get this cute little picture of Danielle and like
Mhm.
um
Uniform. You haven't seen the uniform pic.
like academy days.
Mm,
Um and how she explains to Jet that Murphy killed her partner. The ring that she found was Jennings. Um yeah, and Jet is like looking at this photo, looking at everything, and she's like, "I am so sorry."
mm.
And in that moment, Jet is realizing how important
Important. This is that they
business
catch Murphy.
is really to get Murphy and how important it is to Iana. And I think she's also starting to realize like why now Iana confronted her in the first place because
Mhm.
this is that important to her. Um, I think it's great that Ayana finally feels like she can open up to Jet because
Mhm.
early in the episode she did not want to. Jet wanted
Yeah.
she to open up, but she did. But it also makes me wonder how the operation could have went different if Ayana told Jet all this in the first place.
Mhm.
Like the kiss probably wouldn't have happened, the operation probably wouldn't have been at risk.
Yeah.
But it's also a growth moment for both of them that Ayana can finally tell Jet the true importance behind this case,
Mhm.
and that Jet is realizing how to um he's getting this deeper
Mm.
bond with Ayana, but also getting more cop experience, understanding how to
Yeah.
do undercover operations from now on.
Mm. Mm.
Um,
The thing is, growth is important. It's part of character development.
so then we get so Jet looks at Ayana and says, "Give me one more chance. I know I don't deserve it, but I won't let you down this time." And then it's like literally just the scene ends with the two of them on Belle's couch talking to each other, like just looking at
Mm.
each other, silent
Mhm.
moment of understanding, and then
Mhm.
commercial.
Yeah, this is the
I think
last. This is
once
the
you
last. Yeah, this
and
is
then
the last bit.
after the scene, I wrote in all caps, these two can carry the show. This is the
Mhm.
first episode we've gotten, I think, like the entire series, where the focus has been on Jet and Ayana more
Mhm.
than Elliot. And this
Mhm.
episode proves that they should do it more.
Mm-hmm.
And then we
Which they
don't
kind of have to because it leads into that. They
yeah,
have to
we
mention it
don't
because
always
it's
need
there.
Elliot Stabler to fully back up a
Mm-hmm.
case. Like this episode, the
So
stars
good.
were Ainsley and Danielle.
Yes, it was so good. Like I can't praise it enough.
Um, and this is what so we mentioned a campaign earlier,
Mm-hmm.
and these two scenes prove it, and our episode title is proving it.
Mm-hmm.
We're starting the Ainsley and Danielle Need Emmy campaign,
Yeah, it was
especially after
necessary.
tonight. Like, I,
So it makes me look forward to next time too. Like we need to.
yes, tonight,
Yes,
last night, not last night, Thursday's episode absolutely proved how much talent these two women have.
yes, so
Um,
good.
and how much
Like if you're
we should,
people who don't watch organized crime, but you listen to our show, this is one worth watching.
yeah. Like we have our friends who are like, I don't want to watch it. Why do you guys watch it? And we're like, Brianna and Jet.
Yeah.
That's it. Um, this is like I've been reading all the articles that I can, and it makes me so happy to see the recognition that Ainsley and Danielle are
People,
getting.
yeah, people are loving this
People are
one.
loving it.
Well,
People are
I would
shouting
eat it.
the rooftops,
So
and I'm like, it's about damn time.
yes.
Like, finally, like, give them the recognition that they absolutely deserve. Um, yeah. So give Ainsley and Emmy, give Danielle and Emmy. Now, go. Do it.
It's in a request.
It's not a request, it's an order. Okay, so the last scene that we get
Yeah,
is
last name.
at the bar. The boxing match is getting set up. Teddy has this bag under the bar with the money,
Mm-hmm.
drugs.
Not to
Um,
remember.
and Seamus walks in with Jet Juliet on his arm.
Mm-hmm.
We get out
Yeah,
the
yeah,
next
please.
gorgeous outfit of the
That's
night.
not gonna be
And she's got like another fur coat on. It's like hanging off her shoulders and another sparkly dress, and I love it so much. Um, and we have Elliot and Ayana in the back room watching the cameras, and that's where we get the scene with Ayana.
Ayana has a really pretty dress on too. She has a blue dress on.
Um, so things are going fine. The boxing match is starting,
Yeah.
and everything's okay. And then
And
this
the guy
guy
that
walks into the bar, and you see Seamus look at him and realizes, oh crap.
mm-hmm.
The guy who walks into the bar is the one. His name is Michael Amato.
Mm-hmm.
Gio Amato's brother, who's one of the Murphy, not the Murphy, who's one of the Morella
Around.
guys.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Amato was the guy that Seamus was supposed to kill in the hit
Mm-hmm.
and didn't. And
Yeah, because it
so
didn't happen. 'Cause
Elliot and Ayana are watching and see this happening. Seamus sees the guy. Jet is like, what is going on? Then we get this scene of the guy walks right up to Eamon, says his name, pulls out a gun, and tries to shoot him.
mm-hmm.
Misses. And basically all hell breaks loose.
Yeah, it was
Like the
running around
boxer,
like
like
that.
the boxer knocks the gun out of Michael's hand. Ayana and Elliot go to like fix things. Um, Reyes like pushes the guy down to the ground to like arrest him, and then we get this camera shot of Eamon looking directly at Seamus with a death
Mm-hmm.
glare
Really
while
like,
Jet is there too. So
yeah, she's
Seamus,
like right next to him.
we need to go. And Jet's like,
Mhm.
"What?" And he's like, "No, we need to go." And he like literally like pulls her out of the club and is pulling her as they're heading into his car.
Mhm.
And at this point, like the sweet act is like Jet is still Juliet, but like the sweetness is gone. She's like,
Yeah.
"What is Seamus? What is going on? What the hell is going on?"
Yeah. For the color.
And he's like, "That was Michael Amato." She's like, "The guy that you were supposed to kill in the hit?" And he's like, "Yes." And then Jet said, "I thought you were going to pay him off so you could get
Mhm.
out of here."
Yeah, she's still pulling the Juliet thing at the moment.
Um, because I think we forgot to mention this, but Jet was right that Seamus doesn't want to be in this business anymore. He owes
Mhm.
a debt to Murphy. We don't know what the debt is, but
It's big.
pays
It's a
the
lot.
debt. He's free. He gets to go. His debt was the hit.
Yep.
So he thought if he paid the guy off, everything would be fine.
Yep.
Nope.
It didn't work like that.
And he's like, "We need to get in the car." Seamus is like, "We need to get in the car." Eamon knows he's going to kill Michael and me and you just to prove a point.
Mm-hmm.
Because
You're all.
he paid him off, and the son of a bitch, well, he starts to say son of a bitch. It's like,
Yeah, he didn't.
had to show
Then
up anyway. Um, oh, another line I forgot to mention earlier with the Jet and Reyes conversation is like, you did do, he told Jet, she's like, "You did prevent somebody from getting killed. So you did
mm-hmm.
do the right thing. But Belle has a job to do. You need to prove to her that."
We did. We talked about
I didn't think I mentioned that
that. Oh yeah.
Reyes said that like
Mm-hmm.
she very well might have prevented somebody from dying tonight. So
Oh.
good job, Jet.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then so back to the current scene. Seamus has his hands on Jet's shoulders and he's like, "Baby, I'm sorry. I promise I'm going to make it up to you. I just thought I was doing the right thing." And then you can see like Jet going back.
Yeah,
It's
like
part Juliet, part Jet, and she's like, you did the right thing." And James is like, "We need to go." He goes to get in his car and
yeah.
he pulls Jet's wig off and
I
it
know
lands
we're like,
on
ooh,
the ground.
you're like,
I was like,
uh, you're like, it's like, oh
Seamus
no.
looks at Jet and his head tilts and you can see,
You can see the like the his heart breaking. I don't know how to describe it. Like
yeah, like
he changes. Something appears.
the
It's like,
realization
yeah, the
that
realization hits him hard.
something
That
isn't
that is not who he said.
as it seems.
Yeah, because she was all
Uh,
like, tell the truth, tell the truth, tell the truth. And he
yeah,
was like, I'll tell you the truth. And then she was the one who's a liar in his sense.
liar. And then Jet, uh, now, like, I had a conversation with my parents, and my mom was like, "Why didn't she just like play it off as like, oh yeah, I wear this wig, um,
I mean, when she panicked, it was just like,
but I wear this wig when I'm like dealing cards and everything."
it gets me more customers. You know,
But at
I don't know.
that
She could have
point,
something like that. But
the way that he was
it was,
looking at her,
nothing would have worked then. I think
nothing would work.
she knew
Then he
something
had to
snapped. It was over.
go to the next point. She pulls out her gun
Mm-hmm. That's it.
because Seamus says his and says, "Drop the gun and get on your knees."
Yeah.
And Seamus is like, What are you doing?" Um, and then he says, she says, and I was like, I wrote, "She drops her cover all in a fur coat."
Mm-hmm.
Something about Jet holding a gun while wearing a sparkly
She
dress
does.
fur coat. It's just
We're like,
so
where's that gun being stored in that fur coat? It has some stuff in pockets or something in there. Like,
hopefully,
it's,
who knows? She just pulls it
where is the
out.
gun? And she's, you're like,
And she says, "My name isn't Juliet. My name is Detective Jet and we finally
The
figure out how to say
correct
his last name.
pronunciation.
He says, "My name isn't Juliet. My name is Detective Jet Sloatmakers,
Yes, it's slow
organized
markers.
crime."
Now we know now.
It was
Because
like,
no one else,
"Ooh,
other
you
people have
go."
said it, but I've
Also,
said it
this is like the
incorrectly.
first time that Jet has fully like announced her
Said it
title.
herself. We were like,
So,
oh,
yeah,
we were
announced
like,
her whole
oh.
detective title and said her last name, everything. And well,
I didn't go to. It was
Seamus
me.
says, gets on the ground, he puts his hand on his knees. I mean, hands on his head, and he's on his knees. And he's like, he doesn't believe that she's a cop.
Yeah.
Which, honestly, why is it that like whenever Jet says she's a cop, everyone's like,
He says, I don't believe you or something like you're a
yeah, he says,
cop
I
or I
can't
don't know.
believe it, I don't believe you. But it seems to be like a recurring thing when like Jet says like something about her tech or the fact that she's a cop. There's always somebody who's like, really? You?
You know, she's
Yeah, sure. Anyway, so he's like, I can't believe you're a cop. I don't believe you. No way you're a cop. And he also then he says, I was falling for you.
mm-hmm.
And at this point, like Jet is calling
There's
Bell.
sirens or something. There's something going on in the background. It's like
There's
sirens
someone
or
in
there
the back. She has the gun still pointed
because
at.
there's sirens going off or something. There's police are I don't know, something's going on in the back. And people
Has the gun still pointing at him,
mm-hmm.
and she's trying to tell Belle what's happening. And he says, "You were falling for me too, weren't you?" And we see Jet like look at him. You could see her thinking, the
Mm-hmm.
change in her eyes, and she's like, "You told me to be." He's like, "You told me to be honest with you. What is happening? I thought you were falling for me too." She doesn't respond. Um, then and there's like these guys from the club who all run out to their car
Mm-hmm. There's
and
like sirens or something going on.
turn to look. And Seamus uses the opportunity to stand back up, knock the gun from her hand, and grab her
Mm-hmm.
around the waist, like a pick her up like a
Yeah,
rag
he did
doll,
throw her down
and
hard. I
threw
see.
her to the ground.
And I was like, oh my god,
And
no,
then I
no, it's
screamed
fine, it's fine.
because I did not see that coming, and it all happened very quickly.
Yeah, it goes in real fast. It's like the last like 3 minutes of the episode. This is going
Yeah.
up
He
fast.
threw Jet to the ground. And the two are fighting, and she's trying to reach for her gun, and he's like trying to hold her down and pull her arm back, and you can hear her saying, "No, no," as she's trying to reach for her gun.
Yeah,
And
her
she
like
just
she
raises his hand,
and he hits her.
and you can see the slight hesitation he has
Yeah,
looking
he
at
doesn't
Jet.
he doesn't want to do it. He doesn't want to hurt her.
He doesn't want to hurt her. He has a slight bit of hesitation, but then he swings his arm down and
Yeah.
slaps her hard. So we have Jet like groaning from her being thrown to the ground, being slapped to the point where she's like dazed. He picks her up
Mm.
like bridal style. Actually, no, not even
Yeah,
bridal style. He like holds her
he
over
kind of yeah, he kind of just like
his shoulder, opens her trunk, and
opens.
starts to shove her in there.
Mm.
And then the last things we hear is Jet's whimpers,
Yeah,
like the little like, like no,
yeah
no,
she
no,
did.
no, oh my
Yeah,
god, like she's
and she
realizing.
whimpers for a while. And like from a tell, like it's not like just one or two little whimpers. It's like quite a few. She's like
Like, she's
terrified. Just like thrown.
realizing what is happening.
She's like, I'm being
She
kidnapped.
tries one more time to get out of the trunk, but then Seamus closes the door.
Yeah,
End
yeah.
of episode.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I forgot we made up. Oh no, I think it's Ayana on the phone. She's like,
Oh yeah,
Jet,
and
where are
then
you?
that as Seamus is driving away, the last thing we see is
Is the phone, her
Jet's phone
phone
on the
line.
ground, and Ayana being like, Jet, where are you?
Yeah, the Zoom is about to go boom. So we're gonna talk about this more in like a second.
That.
We'll finish it up.
Okay, so yeah, that was the end of the episode.
I literally went, it's gonna go boom in a second, and then bam over. So
That was the end of the episode. Our baby
yep,
has been kidnapped.
we were like, yeah,
like, out of all of the things that I thought
We
would
weren't
happen
ready for that.
in the
No,
episode, that was nowhere on my radar.
no.
I was like, "Okay," like, after the conversation that she had with Iana, it's like, "Okay, Jet's gonna go back in and be able to end this
Yeah,
smoothly.
apparently
Everything's
not.
gonna be
No,
okay. Everybody's gonna be arrested."
no,
Good, yay, no, or Jet.
no.
Jet
Or
got
just
kidnapped.
kidnapped. And we were like, oh my, we were just like, what do we do? What do we
I literally was screaming. I was
do?
crying, half like teared up, emotional,
We
squealing,
were, we were like,
and I
we
literally
were
was
like,
like,
let's ride a fic.
as he's shoving her in the trunk, I was like, "I can't do this for 2 weeks."
No, okay. That's why we're writing a fic to fix this. Well, not fix it. It's pretty good so far. We have pretty good groundwork for once.
And so before we got so yeah, that was the end of the episode. Our baby's kidnapped.
We said that's like, we need the
Um,
trailer now. I was like, I think I took this. We need the trailer now.
yeah, I was like, we need the trailer now. But before we got the trailer, or like near the end of the episode, Ainsley went on Twitter. I was like, how long have they been holding this in? Is my question.
Probably. I think they usually have a couple, several weeks, a month, or
Um,
usually a monthish.
she
Usually they
put on
usually
a
like every
tweet
other week.
like 7 black hearts, followed by holy shit.
Mm,
And I was like, I was not expecting that at all. You
like,
were amazing. Can you at least tell us if Jet will be okay?
yeah.
And then the other one, which is my like this
Our
is
favorite. This
Ainsley's
is your
favorite.
favorite.
Um, a picture of her in the
In
trunk
the truck.
with them putting their
She's like, yeah.
thumb up and it's with a smile on their face, and the tagline is "No me's were harmed in the making of this episode."
Yes. I said this made me laugh. Otherwise, I'd be crying.
Yeah, I'm like, yep, this is how we're gonna get through
Back to
this.
work. They were
Just
like, work, work.
emotional. So we get the promo.
No, it's
And the
called. It's called All in the
game,
Game.
all in the game, and the
We can
first
tell you that because
um
doesn't want to do this.
like the thing we see is Seamus talking to Murphy, and he said she told me she was a cop.
And we're
And
like,
it's like,
oh,
oh god, the bad guy with the scary dog knows the Jet's a cop. No, 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 no. And then we get like Ainsley, not Ainsley, Elliot's talking to Murphy. We also get a scene of Ayana in her car crying.
and I was like,
I was like, oh my
I'm not
god,
ready.
no. Um, then we hear like in the background what is being done to get Jet back. And then the next line here, I think it's possibly Whelan. It sounded like Whelan. I don't know. But it says whatever it takes. And then we get some clips of the trunk being open and Jet
Yeah,
looking at Seamus and realizing that she's been kidnapped and in a trunk. Um, and then the way that the promo ends is Jet is out of the trunk. She's walking in the woods with Seamus, and Seamus brings her over to this giant
hole
hole
in the
in the
ground.
ground, and she
He
says,
said,
"Seamus, end promo."
and I was like,
Our girl, ends up in a hole. We gonna riot.
I know,
I
I'm
don't
burning
want
it.
her to
Well,
end up in a hole.
I
Scary.
know, we were like, I'm scared. I mean, so then we started. So we were like, this episode is 5 stars. You know, if you are new to the show, we
Absolutely.
rate these out of
5 stars.
5 stars.
Hands
We were like
down.
5 stars. Period. There is no. We've already gone through why this is 5 stars. So good. Like I'm getting like Ainsley, Danielle. This episode was fire. We love this episode. We cannot wait for more. We're literally recording this on Friday night, the day
Yeah,
after we
this
watched the
was
episode a second time
Thursday.
because you were so excited to talk about this, and we are writing a fic because you wanted to. And
And
also it helps us make it through
now,
the week.
like,
Make
brava,
us make
brava,
it makes
brava.
us work. Yeah.
But
And
now
it
we're
helps us make it through the next
yeah,
weeks.
we're writing the fic because we literally like we FaceTime each other after the episode was like and we talked and we're like, we need to go write a fic about this now. And so we're both also concerned because we read the we looked at the summary. So the summary for next week is when a member of the task force goes missing.
It's pretty obvious with this.
Yeah, I was like, why did
Oh,
they
we
not?
forgot to talk about in the trauma the part with Ayana has the gun pointed at
Oh
Murphy.
yeah,
She was like, I was like, oh,
she's like,
she's
she's not playing around. She's done.
she's over.
She's like,
I know
you
that's it.
killed my partner, and now my detective is missing. We're
It's,
not
it's,
playing
it's
around.
over. I know it's so. Ooh.
But yeah, why does the
Yeah.
summary say just a member of the task force? Like,
I guess they did. I guess when they wrote the episode description, they had to put the episode before, so they couldn't say who it was.
it's like we all know it's Jet now,
Well, I
unfortunately.
guess when they probably wrote it originally, they couldn't
And it
tell you
says
that.
when a
So
member of the task force goes missing, Teddy takes
gotcha.
advantage of the chaos to make his escape.
Homie, I don't want to work.
We
They
don't
don't
have
catch him.
time to deal with that right
Now, what
now.
about you, Teddy, right now?
Jet is missing.
Exactly. No time
And
for
it
that.
says Belle secures a key piece of evidence in her case against Murphy.
I know,
So
really.
we've been going back and forth, like we've been writing our fic, and we've been going back and forth. Cause unfortunately we haven't seen Seamus angry or like
Yes, we don't know what
he
he would
does.
do.
So we don't know what he would do to Jet. We know that when he got angry, it got physical. But
Yeah,
we don't know if it would go anywhere past that.
yeah. So we kind of been
We've been
playing
going
around.
back and forth of like, would it or does he genuinely love Juliet to the
Yeah,
point where um he doesn't want to like fully hurt Jet, but is also angry and wants like answers.
yeah. We don't know. We'll see. I guess we gonna put the hole in the ground. So I mean,
Yeah, it's he's like, but I also saw something in an article. It's like it's might sound crazy, but what if he took her to protect her,
which is true.
but also in the promo, he's telling his boss that she's a cop, so
Mm,
probably not.
that's questionable. We've been kind of
It's just
playing
like,
around
what
with it.
does he want?
I think we came up with a pretty good solution.
What does he
We tried.
want from Jet that he kidnapped her? Is it because he didn't want to get arrested? Is it
Did you
because he
not want to
doesn't
get
want
them
to die?
killed? There's
Is
a
it
lot of
because
things.
he's going to use her as collateral?
There's
Like,
so many things. We'll find out, I guess. But
like
we're gonna play
tell,
around.
tell Eamon, I'll give you her if you don't kill me, or like, is Eamon like now that Eamon knows this, is Eamon gonna be like, you get rid of her and you don't die, or is it
That's
more?
plausible. That's pretty plausible at the moment.
It
I
is a
think
pretty
that's
plausible thing.
my pretty plausible one at the moment.
Or is he still falling for her and took her because he wants
To be with her.
to be with her? He wants.
You
He,
kind of entertained all these notions. We tried to entertain all the notions, so we're gonna find out in the show tells us. But we
Ainsley,
gotta play with all.
if you can give us any hints in the next
Yeah,
2
please.
weeks, it'd be
You know,
very appreciated.
yeah,
Because
you
we're not
probably like
the
shake
only reason we're gonna be okay for the next 2 weeks is because we're
it's
gonna
because
be
we're writing
okay.
this one.
Other
We're
than
gonna write
that,
and then write some more stuff.
I
And then write
wasn't
some more stuff.
expecting to have to deal with my favorite character being kidnapped for 2 weeks.
No. I literally had this shirt on yesterday because I was like, it's gonna be just right. Then it was like, ooh. Anything else we need to say? Because I can edit this and we get back to work. Because this literally is long. This is gonna be almost as long as a regular podcast episode in its entirety. We're talking about all of
We've been talking for two.
it. Exactly. This is almost as long as a full podcast episode for
Oh my
one show. So
god! I didn't start crying.
Kelly, Kelly, we have work to do. Are we almost? We're almost done. So they're gonna edit this. We might
No,
put it up early.
it's
Not gonna lie,
third.
we might put this part up early just because I feel like it.
I really
I'll,
wasn't expecting you to cry. Like I was too busy like freaking out last night that I was like really surprised I wasn't crying. So now the tears are coming now.
after we verbalized our feelings, we gotta save our emotions to get back to writing.
Our baby's in a truck.
Our babies and
we don't know why we call Jet our baby considering she's the same age as me and she's older than you,
I
but
don't
we
care.
do.
She's our baby. And listen, we're not debating this. We are not debating it. We are gonna sit here and write this fic. Might put this in the editor. I put it in iMovie. Edit this bad boy. Might put it up early. I don't know. Might put it on Monday.
I still think we should tag them.
Yeah, well, I might put this out early if I finish editing it.
Like we said, we
Mm,
don't usually tag people, but we should.
But you need to hear our praises. We
Yeah,
continue
that's
this.
literally like you're gonna hear most of our rambling and analysis of the episode, but
Yeah,
also
but we will sing your praises
our
on the
rambling.
worst.
Because we love you both
We do.
so damn much.
Like we said, we watch the
So
show
damn
every week.
much.
We watch the show every week.
We watch the show every week because of you both.
Literally, that's why we watch it. And then we like it
And then
helps us get a creative
then,
outlet
like
of
of
other
course
things we bring because
we also love Reyes and Whelan and then
love our boys.
Taylor. But
Yeah. Sometimes we
majority
just
of the
need to
reason that we watch organized crime is because of you two.
so much love to you too.
So
So
much
much love.
love.
Uh
And
you're real excited about this next episode.
also the
So
fact
like
that Danielle was like, if you thought this week was crazy, wait till the next week. I'm like,
and I'm like, "Ugh."
what now? Like I thought like me dealing with like Jet Undercover and loving Jet Undercover was going to be
It was
enough
good.
craziness. Now we have to deal
Mm,
with the aftermath.
yeah.
Don't
Mm,
want to. No. 2 weeks is gonna
literally
be too long.
2 weeks is too long. So do you have anything else we need to say so we can
Um, I'm trying to think, is there anything else I had to say about Ainsley and Danielle this week? Ready for this?
besides we love you so much. We could gush about this for hours, but we
Oh,
can't 'cause we have work to
I'm
do.
going to do a little promo. So fangirlish, what's it called? Fangirlish.com. They do reviews of organized crime episodes, and
Mm-hmm.
they did an article about this week's episode. The article is perfect. Like both Ainsley and
It's just
Danielle saw it and were like emotional over it. Go read it. It was perfect. There's no other way to describe it.
it's just so good.
I'm trying to think. There was like a line in it. Um says Punch Drunk is nothing if not a brilliant showcase of talent from both Ainsley Seeger and Danielle Mono Truitt. Um I love that they said we always knew Seeger was good, but wow, it is fun to see a whole new layer of how good. It's so true. Like Jet's on a
We could
whole
go.
like, Ainsley just took Jet to a whole another level. Um this is my favorite. Basically all the above is just a very long-winded and circular way of saying OMG Ainsley. Now OMG
Literally, that's how the whole thing goes
that
for
was
like
awesome the entire time. Oh my god. Oh
you
my
sit and
god.
do that fucking hour.
Um I'm trying to think. There was something else that was in it that I wanted to read. Um, oh, I love this. Did we mention that we will continue to stand Danielle Monet Truitt and Sergeant Oyana Bell for all eternity? Because we will. Jot that
Yeah,
down. Noted. So we will. So will we.
we
Um,
will too. Forever.
I love this. Ainsley Seeger's masterclass with many of the major moments between Sloopmakers and Bell, emphasizing Jet's perspective. I love that. Ains like literally put that on a t-shirt. Ainsley Seeger's masterclass. I'm starting to ramble. I know I am, but this
Yeah,
article
we
is
gotta. We gotta write because I want to write real bad. Like
uh,
y'all don't understand how like this piece is
it
so
was
good.
like
Like we say all of our pieces are good, but this one's real good. All of them are good.
there was such a
We
good
always put out
really good
bangers.
part of it. Hold on. Oh, like the
For
end.
once, we are not controversial either. I think this
Yeah,
one
really.
won't get us
Oh.
in trouble.
Um, so at the end
I'm
of
not
the
gonna
article, they like basically did like a bullet points of things. And this is so much fun. Um, oh, this one. This is shows how much Ainsley can do, like, just act without words. They wrote that slow sink into the chair when Belle asks Slootmockers why she's still wearing the necklace. Absolutely mind fuckingly good stuff. Yes, I made up a word for it. Yeah, accurate.
It's so good.
What was the other one? Oh, do we want to mention the parallel that they made or just end?
What is that? That's just something we'll talk about.
Yeah. The last one. Yep. So yeah, go read that article because
Yeah, well, I'll
these
remind
phrases
me to. I'll
that
put it
we
in the description of the episode if y'all want to read
all
it
the
because it's so
yeah,
good.
definitely all the phrases that we've been saying, they put it into
Okay.
better words than us just rambling.
Yeah, it's going blah, blah,
But
blah, 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 for 2.5 hours.
yeah.
So I think that's all we got. Because we
Um,
gotta go write some more.
one more time. 5 stars for this episode.
Five
Hands
stars. We
down.
can so good. So much
Um,
love to Ainsley and Danielle.
yes, exactly. So much love to you both.
We can't wait.
If you're
We
listening to
cannot wait.
this, thank you so much for listening.
Yes.
Um,
We
but
can't
either
wait for
way, we're
to
just gonna continue to sing your praises, even if
yeah.
you aren't, because
Whoever's listening to us.
we're truly inspired by you both.
Mm-hmm.
Your
Yep.
characters mean so much to us. You both as people mean so much to us.
Mhm.
Thank you. And we are so excited for next week.
Well, we got to
Not
next.
next
We're
week,
on 12 days
2 weeks.
to go. Is it 12
Next
days? I don't know how
episode.
to count. Next episode.
So yeah,
So
thank you.
that is all. So thank you
Thank
to
you
everyone who was listening.
for
Thank
listening
you.
to
Everyone
this
to
part
listening. So much love.
of The Truth Runs Deep.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we'll be back to talk about the Law and Order and SPU episode,
Soon, but not today. But soon.
but we had to put this out.
Had to. That is all.
Yep. All right.
So goodbye, lovely people. Thanks for listening.
Thank you for listening. Feel free to leave comments
Yeah, you can on. You literally can on
or
Spotify.
message
Which
us.
should be on Spotify. Because this week is your
Go
word.
watch this episode if you haven't. I promise you will not regret it.
You would not be disappointed.
Um,
Bangers.
okay,
Cameras will be not over there.
that's all. Thank you guys.
Yeah.
See you
Bye.
next time. Bye bye.
And